So something that I get a lot of questions about as a program director is how do we fill out our application? When do we fill it out? Is there money that's set aside for students for programs like Pathway? So this is a little overview of our admissions and application process. So what makes a good applicant for Pathway? So the first thing is that the student has to be at least 18. Our students are adults, we want to treat them as adults, so 18 to 25 is our age range. Now you can turn 26 in the program, but when you start the program, you should be between 18 and 25 years old. We also want to make sure that our students have an intellectual or developmental diagnosis. That is the type of student that our program caters to, so that is very important as well. Also, we want to make sure that our students can start in fall. So we do not have students start in winter or spring. We want to make sure all of our students are starting together. So making sure that students can start in September is very important to us as well. We also need to identify that the student has completed high school. Now this can be with a certificate of completion or this can be with a diploma. Either one is fine, just that they have completed high school. And of course, if you are in your senior year, you can submit during the senior year. Just let us know you'll be graduating that June. We also need to make sure that students have a 4th grade reading comprehension level. Some of our students far surpass that, but especially for our core classes, we are modifying the content for how our students best learn, and that's a good baseline for us. So 4th grade would be the baseline for reading comprehension that we feel is necessary to be successful in our courses. Additionally, students need to be able to manage their own time. So that both means literally telling time and also having some experience managing their schedule. So that can be making their own doctor's appointments, that might consist of managing their extracurricular activities, but making sure that they have a sense of time and are able to manage it. And we also want to make sure that our students have had some experiences that are going to help them be successful at Pathway. So this can be anything from clubs in high school to maybe having a part-time job, volunteering at their temple or church, activities that are showing some level of responsibility and also engagement in their school or community. We also like to make sure that students have a support system, and this is really one of the key things that we stress when interviewing a student. Not only do we want the student to be excited about Pathway, but we want their family to be excited about it as well. So knowing that during breaks, our students are going back to a home where their family is supporting the program, where they are reinstilling some of those concepts that we're working so hard on during the program, that's very important. And also the financial support of family. Typically, our students are not paying for this program on their own, so having financial support as well as emotional support from the family is super important. We also want to make sure that our students are able to navigate campus successfully, and that doesn't mean you have to have UCLA campus memorized or anything like that, but just that you've had some experience navigating your own community. So being able to maybe take a public bus, or being able to order an Uber by yourself, knowing how to walk to the grocery store and purchase some milk. All of those skills are going to be really helpful in Westwood and as a Pathway student, so definitely navigation and maybe practicing those navigation skills before the program is really going to give you a leg up once you get to Westwood. We also want to make sure that students possess safety skills. So in the program, you're not going to be monitored 24/7. You're an adult. There are going to be times when you're in your apartment by yourself, or you're going to be in Westwood with a friend. So we want to make sure that in the community, you're able to be safe when it comes to traffic, understanding crosswalks and things like that, but also that you have some basic safety skills in the kitchen. So you know how to use a knife properly, you know how to use the stove. Of course, some of these can be emerging skills and we can continue to work on them at Pathway, but basic safety skills at home and in the community are definitely a prerequisite. And then we also want to make sure that you are either a regional center client or that you are able to pay separately for those supported living skills. So we work with a vendor that is a vendor of Regional Center called Level Up Solutions. And if you are a client of Regional Center, that supported living, those 5 to 15 hours of supported living a week, that can be covered by Regional Center or have the ability as a family to pay for that privately. And then the application. So if you are watching this tour, you're already in the right place, but we do want to make sure that you know about our application cycles. So we are looking at applications for the following fall, December through March. So if you are going to be a residential student, we'd really recommend, for example, if you're looking at next fall, the prior December through March to start getting those applications in as a residential student. We're a little more lenient with commuters. You can apply all the way until June of that year, but we just want to make sure that we have ample time to review applications, and it is a rolling process. So the sooner you get your application in, the sooner we can review it. And from the time you submit your application, that's usually a 6 to 8 week period. We also do our applications online, so no need to send anything in the mail. Everything you're going to do for the application, you can complete online. And when we look at your application, we are going to see if you would qualify for an interview. So you turn in your application, and then within 2 to 4 weeks, the next step would be getting an invitation to interview. And then with funding. So a lot of times people are thinking about typical college programs and FAFSA and what pathway qualifies for. So we do qualify for the FAFSA. Within the FAFSA, what we qualify for is something called the Pell Grant. So that is a potential funding source that might be applicable for your student. We also have a private scholarship fund. Again, we do that based on need, so you would have to fill out the FAFSA as well to qualify for the private scholarship fund. We are also seeing self-determination really take off, which is a program through Regional Center. So that means that instead of Regional Center deciding where your money goes for education, you can self-determine where those funds go. So if you are doing the self-determination program, that could be a source of funding, or just talking to your Regional Center in general about funding the Pathway program. And also Department of Rehabilitation is a great funding source as well. We have had students funded through DOR, so that is something to look into as well. And of course, there are private scholarships available through different organizations, and many of those are listed on thinkcollege.net. So that is a great source to look at some of the diagnosis-specific scholarships that might be available to you.